Hi, this is Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today we're going to take a walk around a Lamar DL14 series dump trailer. Shown here is a 7x16 trailer, 14,000 pound. It's got our optional deluxe package. Take you for a walk around the trailer, show you all the standard features as well as the options we put on this particular unit. So starting out up front, it's an adjustable 2 5/16 inch cast coupler. They're using a Demco Easy Latch. If you're not familiar, as you would lower the jack, this will automatically clamp down on your ball. It's a 6-hole adjustable, so you got a number of different adjustments there. You'll notice it's also got a nice heavy-duty faceplate and an integrated chain holder. So one option we put on this particular unit is a 12K hydraulic jack. So this particular jack setup, we've got the up-down on the bed. And then just by switching a simple, what we'd call diverter valve, we can now put the jack up and down. So very simple operation of the trailer. Again, it's a 12K Stillwell hydraulic jack. It's also standard on this is going to be a cold weather rated harness. It's a 7-pin blade style, as would be equipped on most modern vehicles. It's got a 110 volt charger integrated, so you can top off your battery, simply plug it into house current. So the toolbox on Lamar's trailers are about 2 gauges heavier than most. Little detail, just built a little bit heavier. Also, they put a gas shock on the box. Little detail, but a lot of manufacturers don't put a gas shock on. Also put grease zerks on the backside of the toolbox. So that's what most manufacturers are using, a KTI pump, power up, power down. It's also got an interstate deep cycle marine battery. And then another little detail with Lamar, they put the battery in a separate box. That way if somebody throws binder straps or whatnot in the toolbox, it's not going to arc off the battery. So there's the inside of your 110 volt charger. Currently using a 5 amp hour charger. Just for reference, it's a 140 amp hour battery. You would need to charge a fully discharged battery about 30 hours. A lot of guys will do it maybe overnight. You really need to do it for a full day or for a weekend. So also on this, we've done the charcoal powder coat. Just gives it a nice clean look. Optioned that in with the black wheels. Just gives the trailer a clean look that looks different than most of the other stuff in the industry. Also, the tarp kit on this is standard equipment. It's a little bit nicer tarp than what we see on most of our manufacturers that do a standard tarp kit. It's a bought-in tarp, not a house-built tarp. Because of that, it's going to be an aluminum rod with a sail bar. So both your main rod and your sail bar are both aluminum, not steel. And then also you've got a spring latch assembly, and then your handle will swivel in and out as well to keep it out of harm's way. Another little detail, you got guides on the side to keep it straight. So with a sail bar, you simply lift up on the sail bar. You can walk it back. The nice part about the sail bar is it keeps your tarp nice and straight. Just hook it in there, go to the front, crank it up. Very, very simple deployment. Very nice system that they use on these. So another detail on the Lamar's this rigid rail, they call it. Most of your dump manufacturers are going to have about 1.5 inch top lip. This one here is either 2.5 or 3 inch. What makes it nice and strong, instead of just coming up and rolling the top edge, they return it all the way to the sidewall. Again, makes it very rigid, hence the name rigid rail. Also going down the side of the trailer, you've got stake pockets, and then you've also got J-hooks for tarp grommet tie downs. Mainframe on this trailer is pretty stout. It's an 8-inch I-beam frame. Used to be a 10 foot-pound. They've optioned in an even heavier 13 foot-pound mainframe. That heavy-duty frame goes hand in hand with the one-piece 7-gauge floor. So that's a 7-gauge floor's 3/16 of an inch, whereas 1/8 inch or 10 gauge is normally what you're going to see in most of the industry. 1/16 difference equates to about 2.5 pounds per square foot, or in a 7/16 trailer like this, about 250 to 275 extra pounds of steel in the floor of this trailer, making it ideal for, you know, guys a little bit heavier like loggers, or sell a lot of these to concrete contractors. Another detail, 4-inch D-rings, not 3-inch. Notice at the back they keep them up off the sidewall or up off the floor a little bit. Now, right outside of where that ring is this wall support. So not only is it toward the bottom where you got more strength, but also it's got a vertical upright right outside the ring. Up front, they keep them in the corners on the floor. Trailer does have 2-foot sidewalls, as is fairly standard. There are some manufacturers using a little shorter 20-inch, but this is still a 2-foot wall. Notice there's also D-rings outside, so one nice part about the door holdback system is it's a very simple design, but it also gives you additional tie downs. You've got 2 tie downs for additional use at the rear. Also notice this is a 3-way gate, so this gate can do the traditional barn door. You can pull the latch lever there to spread like a dump truck. You can also pull the top hinge and hinge from the bottom, pull the top pin, lay it down like a pickup truck style gate. So 3-way gate, standard equipment on this particular Lamar dump. Let me move back to the axles and tires here. These are 7,000 pound axles. They've got the new forward adjusting brakes. So just like a car setup, these brakes are going to continually adjust forward until you've spent the life of the brakes. Standard would also be easy lube hubs, but on this heavy duty dump, we've gone ahead and optioned in oil bath hubs. Oil bath hubs, you may not be familiar with, similar setup to what's on a tractor trailer rig. That would be oil bath on a larger scale. Oil is just a better lubricator than grease would be. So we've gone with the heavy duty oil bath to go with all the other heavy duty features on the trailer, which another one of those would be, this one's got optional 14 ply rubber. If you're not familiar with 14 ply, you get about a time and a half to double the tread depending on which 10 ply tire you use. But again, this has the optional 14 ply. Also notice it's got double broke fenders with fender returns or gussets. Reinforces the fenders on the trailer. Underneath there you can see they put a nice heavy duty hinge. They actually box out the back end there with I believe that's 3.5-inch tube. Also rear jack stands, another option we've optioned on this particular unit. Somebody's going to load a heavy duty piece of equipment. It's just nice to have a set of jack stands back there to give some extra peace of mind. So just like the top rail on the sides, the top of the rear gate also reinforced with a heavy rail that returns. Ramps on this are undermount. They do slide in from the rear. It's got an extra stop turn tail, or I'm sorry, an extra marker light. So you got your 3 markers in the middle and a stop turn tail. They put an extra marker light on the edge. Just another sign to us that a manufacturer, is just trying to build the best product. If they're not just putting the bare minimum on, just goes to show that they're trying to build quality into their trailers. Let me show you the underside of this particular unit. So you never had a dump trailer before. Also, toolbox keys are on the back side of the handle. So one thing while we're going up, I'll show you. This is a nestle bed frame. Very, very few manufacturers I've seen in the industry do this. So basically, the bed frame sits inside the main frame. Thought process there is, without sacrificing anything on the trailer, you're getting 4 additional inches lower to the ground, whereas most manufacturers to get lower are going to use drop axles, which unfortunately put your spindles closer to the ground. Your axle tube just gives you something to catch up on tree stumps or low-hanging items. So typically on a 14,000 pound trailer, you'd have a 5/16 scissor. On some manufacturers, 20 footers, 16 footers, they'll jump to a 520 hoist. This one here does have a 520 hoist. A 5/16 meets the legal, or it's not legal, but meets the weight rating payload of the trailer. Whereas this 520 hoist just gives you more than enough hoist for this particular payload trailer. This trailer is going to have about 10,000 pound payload plus your tongue weight. Tongue weight's going to be about 2,000 pound. Normally a 5/16 hoist is rated to about 7 ton. This one here is rated to about 9. So on a trailer like this where you got a little bit more leverage, they've gone ahead and put a beefier hoist on. Scissor hoist is a very strong hoist. Gets a little bit more leverage, a little bit farther forward, a little bit more of a mechanical advantage than would a dual ram hoist. So a scissor, you can see, ties into the frame right about the front side of the fender, where a dual ram is always going to tie in about the midpoint of the fender. So there's a shot also of your undermount ramps. Now, one thing we do on this as well, we upgrade to a 12-inch on center floor cross member. Standard would be a 16-inch. Notice how tightly spaced those cross members are. Again, fairly heavy-duty frame, scissor hoist, 7-gauge floor, also 12-inch on center cross members. This trailer does have a charcoal powder coat. Prior to powder coat, Lamar does a not an acid wash, but a dry blast, a dry sandblast on the trailer. Gives it a nice clean finish. So as I mentioned earlier, a trailer like this is going to weigh mid-4s empty. It's going to give you a legal payload of about 9,500 pounds. Plus you're going to get about 15% truck side tongue weight, or about 2,000. So you're going to be getting somewhere around 11.5 on this in a 16. Give me more like 12,000 on a 14-footer. This unit is available with optional 8K axles. You can also get it in a gooseneck, and we also keep it in stock in a triple axle as well. If you have any questions on this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com.